that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Man holds in his mortal hands the power to abolish all forms of human poverty and all forms of human life.
This nation will rise up, and we as a people will get to the promised land.
Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me.
Give me serenity to deal with this life, like standing in a dark tunnel where it's the light, like living in the bottom of a pit.
The bottom of the
It's
pit.
like living in the bottom of a pit.
The bottom of the pit.
I will never quit, I'll go the distance. Hard work pays off, you're all my witness. Like living in the bottom of a pit.
The bottom of the
It's
pit.
like living in the bottom of a pit.
The bottom of the
Welcome to the Now or Never show. I am your host, Kimberly Trapani. It is my pleasure to welcome Luca Brassy back on the show. And Luca is a personal trainer, an artist, a musician, and he has wrote a book. We're going to talk about his book today. Welcome, Luca.
Hey, what's going on, honey? How you doing today?
Good, and appreciate your time. I wanted to bring you back on because I felt like we needed to focus more on your book and focus more on how you're helping people in the community with wellness, and wanted to talk a little bit about some of your history. I appreciate having you on a holiday weekend. Can you tell me what's going on? What's for dinner?
I actually don't know. We're actually supposed to be celebrating today. I just got done with my morning appointments, so right now my dog is trying to get me to play with him right now. But other than that, I don't know what's for dinner yet. I think my mom might have told me, but I honestly forgot. But we're getting together with the family today instead of tomorrow. Tomorrow I have dinner with my mother usually anyway, but yeah, so we're all getting together today, and I'll let you know what's for dinner afterwards because I honestly don't know. All I know is that there is going to be soda there because I'm bringing it. That's all I know.
Tell me about your training, going back into history. How did you get your start with training clients, personal training clients with wellness, and how are you helping them today?
All right, well, to answer that, we got to go back in time about 25 years, actually. When I tell people that I have over 20 years experience, pushing about 25 now, people are like, well, wait a minute, how old are you? And then when I tell them my age, they're like, so you started training people when you were like 13? And I'm like, yes, I was, So I know it sounds crazy, but first time I ever went to the gym, I was 12 the first time I ever walked in, and then I was 13 when I actually started. And it was the type of thing that by the time I was 14, I was really into it. I was powerlifting, I was competing, and I was helping other people here and there. My coach, Keith, shout out to you, Keith Nautel, he would sometimes ask me to help people around the gym. Like, can you spot this guy? Can you help this guy do this? Just little stuff, But I started getting experience training and working with other people like that. And then I won my first trophy when I was 14. And my first my first competition ever, I took first place. I actually stopped powerlifting right before I turned 17, and I actually was undefeated. So in my powerlifting experience, I've never been beaten as far as, the bench press goes. I haven't competed, like I said, since I was a teenager, but I always tell people as a joke, I retired undefeated. You know that, right? And then from there, I got into professional wrestling. By the time I was 14, going on 15, I had started training people in professional wrestling as well. And then it kind of just went from there. So in one form or another, I've been training people in physical fitness, wrestling, boxing, and that type of stuff since I was about 13 years old. But that's how it all started for me, was with Keith and powerlifting, and then taking things from there.
Yes, and wrestling and having certifications, it's a lot. What kind of certifications does New York State make you carry? And do you have to keep retaking those tests?
Well, what it is to become a personal trainer, some people, I call them weekend trainers. They take these courses that they can get done in a weekend, and then they get certified, and that's it. I believe in, if you're going to do it the right way, which I don't agree with that system, but it is what it is. There's a few very respected companies internationally that a lot of people tend to go for. The best one that you can get is the one that I actually have, which is National Academy of Sports Medicine. It's the top, pretty much the most respected name in personal training, and I've been with them since 2009, and since then I've gotten 3 different specialization trainings. So I'm a specialist in 3 different areas, from group training, first of all, regular personal training, then group training, corrective exercise, and performance enhancement. I actually have to renew again this summer. You have to renew it every 2 years with the company, and I'm actually about to renew it again. I have to go do it by August, and you have to be CPR and AED certified as well.
Yes, and you were responsible for my middle-aged bikini body, and when no one else could handle it. So it's very important for wellness as you age and get older. And who are some of your clients besides middle-aged women like me what are they working on with you with your personal training?
Well, some people, I've had people over the years come to me for all different reasons. I think I talked to you about this. People who want to build muscle, people who want to lose weight, people who want to work on flexibility, people who are rehabbing an injury. Some people just want me for accountability, so they make it to the gym. You know what I mean? Just because I hold them accountable for it. So I have a whole bunch of different reasons why people train. But right now, like this one woman in particular, Julie, you met Julie, you know her. She's done really, really well lately. She's lost a lot of weight. Like her BMI, her body fat went down. Like she's doing real good. So for her, it was weight loss. Another kid that I train right now, Daniel, he's about 17 years old. Shout outs to you, Daniel, buddy. He wants to get bigger. He wants to put on some size and muscle, you know, so it's all about what the goal is. And my thing is, I always give people what they want, but I also give them what they need, okay? Because I can't just let somebody do all the things they want and throw the rest in the garbage, because you won't have a well-rounded program. So I always tell people, I will definitely do what you want to do, but I'm also going to give you things that you need as well, okay? You might not necessarily want to do them, but you're going to have to, because if somebody comes to me for weight loss, I will do weight loss, but I'm also going to do some flexibility training in there, some stability training to make sure that they're well-rounded, you know, because that's what fitness is all about, is balance. It's just having that balance in life, you know, mind, body, soul, like the whole nine, and just having that balance and getting people to a point where they enjoy training with me, but they can also do a lot of things on their own. Like Hassan, the guy we did the 6-week challenge, ended a few weeks back, and since then he's completely changed his dieting, like to what we were doing. And before that, it was kind of a whatever, whenever type diet, but now he's got it scheduled, he's got it consistent. And I told him, I said, good, because that's what it's really all about, is making positive, permanent changes, not temporary fixes, you know?
Yes, and I can appreciate that. And before we take a commercial, I just want to talk a little bit about your film and what's going on with that. The Hickmans, we talked last time about that. Are you fully casted? What stage are you at with that script writing?
Right now, the script is about half done. Tony's actually supposed to be coming over today. The Hickmans, for personal reasons, okay, I'm not going to get into why, but it may be put aside just for a little while. Mm-hmm. I might explain it to you, Kim, when I see you on Tuesday for training. Okay, we can talk a little more then. I don't want to do it live on the air here. But there's been a couple little things that are probably going to put that on a brief hiatus, the Hickmans. But to answer your question, it's about half written. We still would need to cast 2 more roles if we continue to proceed forward with it, which we probably will at some point, but right now it's probably going to be put on a brief hiatus. But we still are looking for the twins. Okay, we need one little Asian kid and one little Caucasian kid. And then we'll pretty much be fully cast. But we have all the other characters in line. We have the personality set. Everything is pretty much ready to go. So we just have 2 more little roles, and then, just finish writing, and we'll be able to move forward with it.
And you're looking for the children. How are you finding these kids to cast? Do they have to go into an audition, or are you scouting them? How's that work?
Well, so far, with all the casting that we've done thus far, it's been people that I know, some with experience, some without, that me and Tony talked about, that we thought, you know what, this person would be perfect for this role. Just as an example, Tony's girlfriend's parents. One night when we were at the biker clubhouse, we were having a big, bash, whatever. I was just watching Stephanie's parents go back and forth, and it was gold. And so I went to Tony. I'm like, yo, I was like, do you think that they would play the part of Cletus and Maud, the parents? He's like, I don't know, let me ask him. So he asked them, and they were like, oh, hell yeah, like, we'll do it. So like, that's how they got cast. Scuba, Scuba, I cast him as Hickory Hickman is his name, Hickman. Because I was like, there's got to be a crazy cousin, kind of like Christmas Vacation, the crazy cousin Eddie. I was like, we got to have one of those. I was like, so we got to have a crazy cousin. So Scuba was perfect for that. And then Amity, who's going to play the part of his wife, again, she's a model and actress, and I thought about her, and I'm like, she'd be a perfect counterpart to the rest of the family, because the whole family, they're Hicks, but Amity is going to play like a city girl. So I explained to Amity, I was like, your character is gonna kind of be a cross between Cameron Diaz from The Mask and Marissa Tomei from My Cousin Vinny. I was like, if you can take those 2 characters and mesh them together, you have the character that I want for this script. So a lot of the characters that we cast, to answer your question, was kind of just people that I knew, that I was like, hey, I think this person would be perfect for this. And I would just ask them. And most of them, actually all of them, agreed. They all said yes. So, yeah, we actually had no casting calls. We didn't do anything like that. We just were writing it. And as we were writing it and developing the characters, we started thinking about people like, hey, I know this person. I think they'd be perfect for this. So we kind of wrote it with the people in mind of who we were writing it for.
Yes, and it takes years to get a script out usually, and we have this cutthroat Hollywood, and then we have this Hollywood where there's independent filmmakers that are trying to just create performances or jobs or that kind of thing, and it takes time and a lot of work for creative content writers and script writers to get their works out on screen for what we see, and can appreciate that. We're going to cut to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about 20 reasons and 20 ways to diminish self-doubt, because duplication is very good. Hold that thought.
Like standing in a dark tunnel where is the light, like living in the bottom of a pit.
The bottom of the
It's
pit.
like living in the bottom of a pit.
The bottom of the pit.
I will never quit, I'll go the distance. Hard work pays off, you're on my witness. Like living in the bottom of a pit.
The bottom of the
It's
pit.
like living in the bottom of a pit.
The bottom of the pit. I'm at my wits' end, Lord. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
What did it do with this life? Like
We are back on the all-consuming filming now or never show. We're chatting with Luca Brassy. He's kind enough to give his time over a holiday weekend. Appreciate Luca. Luca, tell me about your book. Tell me about the synopsis. What have people not heard from this book that would make them go and inspire them to go on to Amazon.com and get this?
Well, it's kind of funny because there's so many things that I see now in the world, that every day, things I see on social media, things I see when I'm out doing things, and I go, it's funny, I talk about this in my book, and I find myself saying that a lot. Like I'll see something happening. I'm like, I talked about this. Like I talked about situations like this. So it's the type of book I think that anybody can pick it up. It's an easy read. I wrote it in a way where it's almost like a conversation between me and whoever's reading it. And I wanted it to be very personable. Like I didn't want it to seem like something that was really out there. I wanted it to be down to earth, simple. I didn't use any kind of complicated language. Like it was all just very realistic, and it was just me giving my points of view and my opinion. And it's the type of book I think anybody can pick it up and read and get something out of it. But it's kind of like the Bible, where if you go into it with the mindset of you're going to pick it apart, and I don't want it. If you go into it not wanting to get anything out of it, you won't get anything out of it. You have to go into it with an open mind and say, and I address that right at the beginning of the book, the first paragraph, when the intro, I say, this is the opinion and points of views of one man based on what he's experienced and what I see in front of me. So the real test is, and it's a test to the reader, can you respect other people's opinions? Because I do. I might not agree with them, you know what I mean? But it's like, fine, I respect your point of view. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. You have an opinion about something, that's fine. And that's really what it all comes down to, is just having that peace. Because so many people, they don't have peace of mind because they care too much about what people think of them, and they care too much about trying to change other people's minds about things. And I'm like, no, you don't have a right, first of all, to try to change anybody's mind. I was like, people are going to think what they're going to think. They're going to do what they're going to do. You have no control over that. But what you can do is you can share your point of view. Okay. Don't force it on them, but you can share it if they ask. Okay. But you know me, Kim, I'm a realist. If you ask for my opinion, I'm going to give it to you. So if you don't want the honest truth, do not ask me the question. So that I've gotten a lot of great feedback on it. It's got a few really good reviews. I know a couple people who have already read it twice. My nephew being one of those people.
You're a number one bookseller. You should toot your own horn.
Yeah, but I don't even really think like that. You know what I mean? It's like, yes, it was a successful book. It did well and everything. But if it only helped one person, I would have been satisfied with that, because I wanted people to understand where I was coming from, because I'm a very realistic person. My head's not in the clouds. I see things for what they are. I don't buy into BS. I don't like liars. Okay. I kind of know at this point in my life when someone's trying to BS me or lie to me. And I don't sit there and take it. And there's no reason why anybody should. Again, I talk about this in my book, so it's a self-help book. And again, the title says it all. It's 20 different reasons and 20 different ways, the reasons why you should take control of your self-doubt and ways to do it. And from my experience, if you do them correctly, even if you just take a handful of these things and apply them to your life, you're going to see positive changes. You might lose a lot of people. You may lose a lot of people and so-called friends in the process, but it's worth letting go of the bad fruit. If I said this in my book, if you want your tree to grow, you got to cut off the dead branches, get rid of the bad fruit, purify the water, and watch it go.
You mentioned before that this book was something where you had to look at yourself. And I'm finding with my psychology degree that a lot of people don't like looking at themselves because it's too painful for them to look at themselves in their past. Can you tell me about some parts of your book that may address positivity, that inspired, where you were inspired to write some quotes possibly to help people along? I've read your book, but for our audience that has not.
Well, first off, when I was writing the book, there was a lot of self-reflection going on within myself. Like I really, some parts of the book, I really had to address things internally that I've addressed before, that I thought about and came to terms with, but I had to pull a lot of things back out. And I learned some things as I was going through the writing process. I learned some things about myself, and all sorts of stuff. But to what you were saying there, I think a lot of the reason why people don't like to self-reflect and people don't have self-awareness nowadays is because it will screw up their delusion that they've created for themselves in their mind. If they actually have to take responsibility and accountability for things, which is kryptonite for a lot of people at this point, that messes up their world, their internal world, because they realize that they're the problem, that they've done some. There's few people running through my head right now. They've done some really messed up things, but refuse to take any kind of accountability for it. They just stick to their lies. They stick to their delusions, and that's fine. But again, I don't have a right to change them, but I do have a right to decide whether or not I want to deal with them. And I chose to not deal with them anymore. So there's a lot of, I think, great quotes. A lot of things that I took from film and stuff. I quoted. There's a lot of Mr. Miyagi quotes in there, okay, but I break them down and explain kind of what they mean, because you can hear something, oh, that's a cool quote, but you might not understand what it really means. And I go into detail with some of these things, like when I don't just say things and then just move on to the next subject. If I say something that I felt really needed to be explained, I explained it. And the one thing I didn't want the book to turn into was, I'm like, I don't want this to be all about like my life and me and all this stuff. So what I did was, if I thought of something that happened in my life that I could insert as an example of what the subject was that I was talking about, because it's broken into sections. And there's 40 different sections. There's 20 reasons and there's 20 ways. And as I was writing each section, I'm like, oh, you know what? This happened to me. I'm like, this would be a great thing to tell in this section of the book, because this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. So it was a nice balance where I was able to express a lot of things internally about myself, but keep it focused on the person reading it at the same time. And that was my goal. I'm like, I didn't want this to be just me just telling all my stories and writing about myself. I wanted it to connect with whoever was reading it. And I think I accomplished that. I think I did a good job of that. But there's one of the quotes that stands out is when my father always used to tell me there's two sides to every coin. There's the good side, there's the bad side, okay? Just kind of like every action has a reaction, but there's two sides to a coin. So you can look at the negative or you can look at the positive. You should be aware of both, but it's all about your mindset and which way you're going to go with this. So like if somebody's online talking about me, for example, this happened recently. Somebody was online talking trash about me, whatever, started posting my videos, talking trash about me, but he got me more views on those videos. And he got me more followers. So I look at it as, okay, I was like, thanks. you know what I mean? Like, I don't look at the negative aspect of it. I'm looking at the positive aspect. It's like, yeah, you're saying these things, which doesn't matter anyway, okay, in the long run. But what does matter is you got me more views, you got me more followers, you got me more likes, you brought more people, you brought attention to me from more people. So thank you. I appreciate it, And people can't stand that. They hate that, because you're flipping something that they wanted to make you mad and you're making it into something good, and they don't like that. Another one was this. My voice coach actually told me a long time ago. She said, success happens when preparation meets opportunity. What that means, that one's pretty self-explanatory, but always be prepared, because you never know when an opportunity is going to arise. So be prepared for it. And if you're prepared and you get that opportunity, you have a high chance of success there. Okay. Also, opportunity always involves some risk. Okay. So if you want an opportunity, you might have to risk some things. Okay. But again, it's a risk. And if you fail, you know what you do? You get up and you try it again. And then if you fail again, you get up and you try again. You're only a failure if you stay down.
And that is so true. And it's hard not to get discouraged in this world of what's really going on at this point. And I always am telling people lately that I want to talk about, I want to write a blog on the UFOs in Russia because of how hideous this is going. What would you tell your clients, or what would you tell your audience about staying positive as a whole?
Well, positivity starts with mindset. It's not a really a physical thing. I always tell people your mind controls your body. It's not the other way around. You know, mind
Yeah, I
says,
was
body.
going to ask that. Does stress affect the body?
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to go back to what you were saying, but there's when it comes to fitness, there's four main aspects of fitness to make your body do what you want it to. And that's your sleep patterns, your stress levels, your actual training, and your dieting. Okay. Stress is a big thing because stress will hold weight on you. Okay. It will make you tired. It will make you have no energy. You know, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of negative impact that stress has on your body. So yeah, stress absolutely does affect your body. As far as positivity goes, hold on a second. Sorry about that. My dog's acting up. Positivity starts with the mindset again, okay? And I talk about all this in the book. You have to, first of all, address things internally, okay? It's kind of like an alcoholic going through recovery. You're not going to recover unless you recognize you have a problem. So the first thing you have to do is look internally. That's the first step. And so many people try to skip that step.
Mhm.
You know, it's like you can't skip that step because that's what it's based on. Okay, it's self-reflection, self-awareness, and accepting responsibility and accountability for yourself.
Yes.
And not blaming everybody else for wherever you're at or not at. Okay.
Okay.
Another thing you have to be aware of. Everybody says, "Oh, hard work pays off. Hard work pays off." I hate to tell you, hard work does not always pay off. Okay.
Mhm.
It's a fact of life. Okay. It pays off a lot of times.
Yeah.
The harder you work, the better chance you have of being successful. But hard work does not always pay off. Okay. It's just the way that it is. Recognizing that. Okay. Recognizing I'm going to work as hard as I can.
Mhm.
It might not happen, but I don't want it to be for a lack of trying. Okay. If you continue to put yourself and invest yourself into everything you do, that helps create a positive mindset. But the first thing, like I said, self-reflection, self-awareness. Second thing, recognizing, okay, that no matter how hard you work, it may not pay off in the end. Okay. So you got to be prepared for that. Also, after you do those couple of things, just the acceptance of that, you can start looking into spreading the positivity around. And the more positivity you spread around, the more positive your life's going to be. Okay. And some people, they hate positive people. Okay. They do not like being around them. And I know that because I know people like that. Okay. That like they constantly try to kill your vibe. I had a girl the other day. I don't know if you ever met Marissa, Kim.
I have not.
Marissa, she's one of my clients. She's a sweetheart of a girl. She's very, very positive. She's always smiling. And she's got some problems, like some physical problems and some life problems. She's got real issues, but she's always positive and always happy and always smiling. So she told me last time I was training her that a friend of hers called her just simply to try to bring her energy down. Like, and started questioning, why are you always so happy? Why are you always so positive? And I was like, hon, you got to get away from people like that. I was like, people that just want to kill your vibe. I'm like, you don't want those people around you. I was like, because they will suck the life out of you. Okay. So it's another thing. Keeping negative people away from your positive vibe. Okay. So that's a fourth thing you can throw in there. Okay. Is again, cutting off the dead wood. Okay. And getting the positive people around you. Okay. And getting that positive energy. You know what I mean? The more positivity you have around you, the better off you're going to be. So it's hard to give a list. Okay. It's better if people just read the book. Okay. Because it's hard to give a bullet point list of what you should do to create a positive mind. But the number one thing, again, I can't stress this enough, is self-reflection. That's the first thing you have to do, is look internally. Okay. Because again, if you don't know yourself and have that self-awareness, it's going to be really hard for you to go out there and find positivity in other ways. You know, you have to have self-acceptance and awareness. That's number one.
I appreciate it. And in your book is problems and solutions. How would one reach out if they haven't read the book yet to buy your book?
Well, you can find it on Amazon. All you got to do is go to the search bar, 20 Reasons and 20 Ways to Diminish Self-Doubt. Usually it pops up before you even finish it, so you'll see it there. Right now, it's still free on Kindle Unlimited. That was my little give back to everybody because it went number one. So that was my little, here you go. Appreciate it, guys. You know, so right now it's still free on Kindle Unlimited. There's hardcover and paperback options. I have some hard copies, so if somebody wants to go through me directly, they can contact me. and I can mail it over to them and everything. Yeah, you can find it on Amazon, or you can go to the Facebook page. You can find it that way too, which is Facebook/20 Reasons and 20 Ways. You can find it there, or you can contact me directly. You can email me. It's Luca Brassy85@gmail.com. So you can
Are
also
you
find me
taking
there.
clients, more clients?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm always
And
taking
training?
clients. Yeah, I'm always taking new clients.
The proof is in the pudding. A lot of people tell me, how do you look so young at almost 50? Luca's got his hand in my body and in the creation of
Be
it.
careful how you say that.
Yeah, we don't want to upset the world, but yeah. Luke, anything else before we wrap? What's up the upcoming projects? What's new?
So right now, it's the Hickmans. I'm working on a new fictional book. Actually, I'm not sure 100% when I'm going to be able to actually get to writing it, but I have the plot lined up, the characters, the story all set, and I have it written down, brainstorming. I don't know again when I'm going to be able to do that, but also I got to renew my PT certification within the next couple of months, so that's going to be a little project. And I got a couple of auditions coming up for some movie roles. I got one this coming weekend, a week from today, and then I got one on the 29th that I have to go to audition. I think I got a pretty good shot at the one coming up this weekend because I've worked with this company a couple of times before already, and they seem to like my work on camera, which is great. And then all the characters have been pretty different that I've played so far. And this one, no matter what character I get, if I get one, all different from what I've already done, which is kind of cool. And then the next one in a couple of weeks, I know these people, but I have not really worked with them in any of their films. So I'm not really sure 100% what they're looking for. This other company, I kind of know like what it is that they want when you're on camera. So it's a little bit easier to audition for the people that you already kind of know and are in tune with and understand what they want. So yeah, that's pretty much what's going on now. I'm always grinding, looking for opportunities, and I'm at a point in life where if you're not talking to me about, financial gain, something fun, or some kind of opportunity, I'm really not interested. I don't deal with drama. I don't deal with negativity. A lot of women that I've dated in my past, extremely negative people, which is why I choose to remain single. If anyone listening right now, if you're a female looking for something short term, I'm all about it.
Me too. And a lot of people say, why are you single? I'm happy single, and I can agree with that as well. You've put me in the mindset on that road, Luca. I wouldn't go to you if you're not training the right way. You've been amazing in my life. I wish you luck. I wish you and your family a happy Easter. Thank you. I'll see you Tuesday. Be safe.
All right. Thank you, Kim. Love you, honey.
Thank you for your time.
Pal to everybody. Again, don't forget 20 Reasons, 20 Ways to Diminish Self-Doubt. Kim Trapani, your host. Thank you very much, my dear. I appreciate it. The American Dream, Luca Brassy. Again, one more pal, baby.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good one, hon.